right things, I think they'll be fine.
Are there any other teams that have 4 players batting over 300, like Brian Reynolds, Kevin Newman, Cabrera, and Bell? I mean, the lineup is loaded. They have gone 9-2 their last 11 at home, 10-4 their last 14 overall. And when they are home, they do score runs, 27, 11-2 over-under at home.
And we look at the Reds, who are in last place, but as Ralph said, they're only 3.5 games out. And I'll say this, they're coming off their best win of the year. That 1-0 win last night was really big for them against the Brewers. Scooter Gennett is going to be back in the lineup for the second half, which should help. If the pitching holds up, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't count this team out.
Yeah, I mean, the Reds' run differential is plus 42, which right now is second to the Cubs. And obviously they're 3 under 500, but the analytics say they should probably be about 5 over 500. And they just have not hit at all this year. And getting Gannett back, this team definitely has a shot to win this division, even though they're in last place right now. There's a lot of positives going on. And, if you ask anyone who's given up the least runs in the National League, you kind of default to the Dodgers, but it's actually Cincinnati, which, just shows you how good their pitching is.
And since that June 1st date again, 6 overs, 21 unders.
Wow.
You talk about the Reds. I have one question for you, Ed. Do you consider this anomaly, or do you look at this? The Reds in day games, 13-24. At night, they're 28-20. At some point in time, do you say, well, this team really does struggle in a day, and do you adjust the line, or do you just let the market play that out?
No, we just let the market play that out. I just think that's just a small sample, and it will correct itself over time.
And we'll flip the batting order in the National League West because I want to leave the Dodgers for last. That means we'll start with the Giants, who are in last place, but they're not playing like a last-place team right now. Probably a fluke, but they've found some offense recently. And we know they're probably going to be trading at the deadline, so this probably won't continue. But at least for the time being, the Giants are at least competing in the NL West, and actually, I believe, made quite a bit of money for their backers in the past month.
It's so funny you say that about the Giants because I don't really watch Giants games because I don't think much of their team, and just looking at scores as you go through time, and they feel like a team that should be about 20 games under 500. Their run differential's minus 70. The Marlins is 86. So they're real similar. And they're only 8 under 500. And, for whatever reason on the road this year, they're scoring a lot of runs outside of Dodger games. And, they just killed the Padres this week. And I don't know, Bruce Bochy's just one of the great managers because how he could get this team to only 8 under 500 is like a miracle.
San Francisco, the complete opposite of the Mets. I told you the Mets have 21 blown saves. San Fran has only 4 blown saves, the best in baseball, an 85% save percentage. They haven't had as many opportunities, but when they come up, they do save them. And, Dave, you said moneymaker in the last month. They're up 9 units, going 17-13 in that span.
And we'll have to see what happens with the bullpen because Will Smith probably won't be there for long. The Padres, I think, are performing about the way a lot of us thought they would, Ed. They're a good young baseball team. They're just not ready yet.
No, I agree with that. You can see the talent, especially, it's everywhere you look on San Diego. There's so much talent. They have so many good young arms and, decent players. I'm actually surprised after watching it for a little while because the Padres feel like they're a better than 500 team, even though they're 3 under right now. I think it's a team definitely headed in the right direction, and I think in the next, I'd say 2 to 3 years, they're going to be the Dodgers' main competition in this division.
And Dave, you talked about San Diego earlier in the year. How they brought up their young players early, and they're letting them play this season. That's exactly what the GM has to do when you have this 2-year plan and say, let's get these kids the work they need this year, go through the trials and tribulations, and have them ready 2 years down the road with that experience.
The Arizona Diamondbacks are a team. I bet the under on this team going in. I'm a favorite to lose it right now, but I don't know if I'm dead yet or not. Look, they've gotten some incredible first halves from guys like Escobar, Marte. Adam Jones has had a nice bounce back when I think a lot of people thought he was probably just about done. Casey Kelly has emerged as a catcher, and they've really only got one quality starter, in my opinion, in Greinke. Robbie Ray's not bad. They're just a couple of games under 500. I'm still holding out hope Sorry, Diamondbacks fans, but I'm still holding out hope that there's going to be some regression with guys like Marte in the second half, and this team will end up maybe battling the Giants for last place in the division. What do you think, Ed?
To me, the two easiest under bets before the year started was Seattle under and Arizona under. And Arizona's, their run differential's plus 41, and they're 2 under 500. And I don't know how many losses they have to the Dodgers, especially late in games, but they're definitely a much better team than 2 under 500. I've already written this off as the loser. The Diamondbacks are just, I'm amazed at the offense that they're getting, considering, they essentially sold off Goldschmidt for just young players, and it's like they don't even miss them.
The one thing I guess it's the cautionary note, I would not rule out the Diamondbacks shopping Zach Greinke. If they don't think they're going to make the playoffs, and there's a pretty good chance that they won't, they could probably get a haul for Greinke, and that would change the dynamic on the team completely.
Oh, if the Diamondbacks, if they didn't shop him, they'd be negligent in what they're doing. I mean, when they signed him to where they are now, it's a rebuild, but they still have some decent young players, and I don't think they thought that Marte would hit the way he is this year. I mean, Adam Jones is doing, really well, considering the Orioles just essentially threw him away. I don't think anyone thought much of that signing. And, the Diamondbacks are obviously not going to win the division this year, and a wild card doesn't seem like it's possible.
The Diamondbacks match the Atlanta Braves with 26 road wins. They're 26 and 23 on the road. Their home record, only Miami is worse. They're 17 and 22 at home. Wow. If they get any type of home wins, we'll see what happens. And
the Colorado Rockies, I guess they're about where we thought they'd be, probably a 500 type team, despite the fact that a couple of the pitchers have really flopped, most notably Kyle Freeland, who was great last year and is now back in the minor leagues, which is an absolute shocker. They can rake, but, man, the elements really kill this pitching staff, and you just wonder if they're going to be able to hang in and contend throughout the second half.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the Rockies' schedule's been, but they're sure predictable as far as they can't beat the Dodgers. They couldn't beat Houston at home, but they sure do good against the bad teams. It sort of feels like they're winning their record on is beating the bad teams. So I'm not sure what their schedule is in front of them, but it feels like they played the Dodgers a lot lately. So the Rockies are a team that possibly could contend for a wild card spot.
Agree with that sentiment when they play the Dodgers and the Astros. The Rockies are actually 26 and 26 against winning teams this year. Again, so they're beating up those teams that are just north of the winning side, losing to the premier teams. Here's a stat for you. Rockies at home this year, 13.8 runs per game combined, 22.2 hits per game. On the road, 8.47 runs, 15.8 hits. So the Coors Field advantage this year, 5.3 runs and 6.5 hits per game, more at home than on the road.
Pretty good. Let's talk about the Dodgers. We saved the best for last, and they are the best. I'm not a Dodger fan, so this isn't some kind of partisanship on my part. I don't know how anybody's beating them in a long series, at least in the National League. Now, the American League's another story, and they've lost 2 straight World Series, but, man, they are just absolutely loaded. This was, to me, a no-brainer going into the season, and it's turning out to be just that, Ed.
Yeah, I played the Dodgers over 92.5. I thought that was a short number because I thought they underachieved last year, and obviously has so much young talent. I thought Bellinger had second year sometimes a little difficult on young players, but he certainly has bounced back to MVP form this year. And with Buehler and Ryu, the way he's pitching, and Kershaw's like the third best pitcher right now. I mean, what can you say? I mean, the Dodgers are just – the only thing that scares me about the Dodgers is I do not like Dave Roberts. I think he overmanages games, and I feel like if he just kind of just made him just sit there and watch the game, they'd be better off for it.
The Dodgers' numbers are mind-blowing. As a team this year, .472 slugging and a 1.10 team whip. Those, I mean, if you're a player, you're almost make an all-star game, let alone an entire team at an all-star break posting those numbers.
And by the way, we'll just throw this in. Joe Kelly's starting to come around. He's starting to get his swagger back that he had last year with the Red Sox. And if Kelly gets it back together like he had it for Boston last year, then this team also becomes really nasty in the late innings with him pitching ahead of Jensen. they're going to be really tough to beat.
Yeah, I mean, if you were going to point at one fault for the Dodgers, it would definitely be the bullpen. But, when you get into these short series, you're going to wind up using starters as some of your relievers, so that's going to help them there. And, there's just so much talent on this team. It's ridiculous.
No matter who you like, you can bet the futures at the Superbook, and lots of good props available, too, including home runs, MVPs, Cy Young. I would assume there's going to be plenty of action on that stuff as we head down the stretch.
Oh, there's no doubt. Randy Bloom does just a phenomenal job with our baseball product, and he offers more than anyone in the city. So if you're looking to bet baseball, this is definitely this place to do it.
And I was with Marco and Kelly in Vegas in the casino a couple days ago when Netherlands women were on in the semifinals game. And that was almost like a huge event, being the other semifinal. I can't imagine what it's going to be like this weekend there, Sunday morning for the USA World Cup.
Yeah, it's just amazing that the women's game has taken off so much. I mean, just the crowds that we get and the cheering. I mean, it's louder than football games. It's just phenomenal.
And something else? They've got enough of an attitude, which has stirred up a little controversy. And I think, listen, controversy is good when you're looking to put butts in the seats. And I think it's translated to heavy volume, fan excitement, and engagement. And it's just going to be crazy this weekend.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
All this stuff, by the way, that we're talking about is all available on the app. And all you have to do is download it. You don't even have to have an account to view the entire menu on the app. That's one of the great features of Superbook USA. And, I mean, people rave about this because it allows them to see what's on the menu, even if they're not signed up. And then they want to sign up after that. Right,
and you can view all of our odds from out of state on the app as well.
Yeah, my friends in Cleveland say that. They come here, they sign up for the app, and they go back home. And you just remember, 5-6 years ago, how hard it was to find lines on certain futures and props. And props to you guys for allowing the public just to view your odds without having even money in the account.
Yeah, no doubt. It's definitely something. If you're planning on a trip to Las Vegas and you just kind of want to look and see what we have as far as our odds, at least it gives you a head start on what kind of route you plan on going when you come to the States. So it's something that, we take pride in. And, starting somewhere around the middle of August, we're going to be switching apps. And the new app, it's going to be very similar to the old app, except for you'll be able to, on the Super Contest, to put your plays in from the state of Nevada.
Yeah, that's
on the Super Contest, so you don't have to come down here every week. You can just shoot them through on your phone app, and you'll be set to go, never having to visiting here other than signing up for the Super Contest.
That's absolutely huge. Always like talking baseball with you, Ed.
Okay, good talking to you, Dave.
Ed Salmon, go down and see him. Ed Salmons is at Superbook USA, and Ed Salmons is on Twitter at LASED, Las Ed. When we come back, we'll break down some of tonight's action. We'll get to our Joe's Angle of the Day, and then the Friday, MJ Christensen 4 at 4.
The Las Vegas Sports Line.
Join ESPN Las Vegas for another Free Cash Friday edition of Happy Hour Fridays at Crazy Horse 3. This is the best Friday party in town. Free parking, free admission, free prizes, awesome $5 food menu, beautiful girls, and best of all, open bar. The drinks are on us. That's right, free drinks. We'll have tickets to the NBA Summer League, and we're giving away $50 cash every hour. And someone will win $100 in Diamond Dollars from Crazy Horse 3. Get the weekend started the right way. Happy Hour Fridays at Crazy Horse 3 on Russell, across from the new Raider Stadium.
Come into Finley Toyota for the largest selection of new, certified pre-owned and used vehicles to choose from. At Finley Toyota, we'll do anything to sell you a car.
We'll do anything to sell you a car.
With John Lyons from Lyons Physical Therapy, the ratings for LPT are as good as they get, 5 out of 5 stars. What makes Lyons Physical Therapy unique as a treatment option?
Yeah, Dave, and we're thankful for that. We've had great patients and customers over the years that have given us honest reviews. I think what separates us from other companies is that we pay attention to our patients. We individualize their treatment plan. We take our time and use our manual therapy skills in our hands to actually work on every patient. These patients aren't just a number. We're actually trying to help them, and we listen to their needs and what works best for them.
LionsPTLV.com, 702-476-0222.
MGM Resorts. NBA Summer League 2019 returns for 83 games of action as we celebrate Season 15 with 32 teams live in Las Vegas July 10th through 15th at the Thomas & Mack Center and Cox Pavilion. The lineup of bright young